Dolphins versus Ravens week 2. This game's going to be a good one. Last week against the Patriots, we were all hyped for it. Season opener, home opener, obviously the whole entire deal. It was a fun game to watch, fun game to experience. Dolphins blew them out 20-7. But if we're being honest, we all knew that we were going to win that game. We've got a real challenge this week against the Ravens. Next week against the Bills, the week after, Thursday Night Football against the Bengals. It's going to be a tough one, and we're going to need to win this one. Thursday Night Football last season, I want to say it was week 10 or 11. I know it was on Veterans Day. It was a fun game to watch. Dolphins shocked the world and beat the Ravens on prime time, which was really fun to see. Lamar Jackson or John Harbaugh had to wait to figure out why the Dolphins were blitzing every play, but it was working, so they just didn't stop. And we ended up winning that game in like a really low-scoring game somehow, but really fun game to be at and watch. But no major injury concerns for the Dolphins tomorrow, other than Austin Jackson. We'll get to that in a second. Sistine Carter is going to be out. Salvon Ahmed, Teron Armstead, Hunter Long, Christian Wilkins, and Cedric Wilson Jr. are all questionable. I think everyone on that list is going to play except for Hunter Long, who was declared out today, a couple hours ago on Saturday, with that ankle injury. And at the same time, River Craycraft and Larnell Coleman were both elevated from the practice squad. River Craycraft probably just means that Eric Izukama is going to be, once again, a healthy scratch like he was last week. And the Larnell Coleman elevation was because of the Austin Jackson IR settlement. But yeah, Austin Jackson was put on the short-term IR, which means he's out for, I think, a minimum of 4 weeks, which really sucks because McDaniel said that he could have gone back into the game with that ankle injury in case of an emergency situation, which made me thought that he could potentially be able to play this week, if not maybe next week against Buffalo. But like I said, he's going to be out for the next 4 weeks, which kind of sucks. That means next man up. Greg Little is going to be starting at right tackle for the next 4 weeks, barring any injuries. And when he was in after AJ went down last week, when he was in against the Patriots, he didn't look too bad, which was good to see. But Teron Armstead, if he doesn't play, it's going to be a problem because I think Tyus Bowser, I think it was, maybe Calais Campbell, one of those guys just was ramming through the Jets O-line and was killing Flacco and killing anybody in their backfield last week. And that was on the left side of, if you're facing the defense, so which is obviously the side that Teron Armstead plays on. So if he plays, it's going to be a big help. If he doesn't, it's going to be maybe misery tomorrow because we could see Liam Eichenberg move back to left tackle, then like Robert Jones. But it's going to be a big mess if he doesn't play. But I think that he will. Everybody else on that list, like I said, should, except for Hunter Long. But the Ravens injury report is definitely a more interesting one to keep eyes on. James Prochet and Ronnie Staley both doubtful for tomorrow. James Prochet didn't practice on Thursday or Friday, which makes me think there's really no way that he plays tomorrow. And then Ronnie Staley was one that the Ravens thought could potentially play tomorrow, or technically it's today, I guess. But it's looking like he may not. And his replacement, Juwan James, tore his ACL, and he's out for the season. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Ravens do about that. They're really hoping that Ronnie Staley wakes up tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to check because this was posted yesterday, so it may have changed. Yeah, no changes on that. So it looks like the Ravens could potentially be going down even further in the depth chart for tomorrow's O-line play, which is really going to suck for them, especially with that D-line that the Dolphins have been working with. J.K. Dobbins looks like we'll play. I'm honestly kind of excited to see him play, just hoping that he doesn't really go off, but I don't think he's going to be 100%. I haven't seen him since the 2020 season, if that's right. I don't think he played last season at all, or at least most of it he didn't play. Marlon Humphrey is questionable, didn't practice at all on Friday, which makes me think he's probably not going to play. Travis Jones looks like he's going to play after participating fully on Thursday and Friday. Marcus Peters is definitely bit of a question because he was limited Friday, was full on Thursday. Patrick Ricard may not play. And then Brandon Stevens is probably not going to play either. So definitely looking like the Ravens are going to be shorthanded. And also not even on that report is Kyle Fuller, who's out for the season. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens with the Ravens, especially in that secondary, who could be down 4 of their 5 best defensive backs. So like I said, going to be interesting to see what the Ravens do. And if you're going to be down for your defensive backs against any team in the league, the Dolphins are going to be the team that you are not going to want to face. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, two of the fastest receivers in the league. It's going to be really tough to have that coverage down on point tomorrow. But just a couple things that I want to see from the Dolphins tomorrow is stop the run. Now, I'm not talking about J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. I don't even think Gus Edwards is playing. Lamar Jackson's the main guy I'm talking about. He didn't rush the ball that much last week against the Jets. I think only 20-something rushing yards. He passed the ball really well. He wants that money that he's not getting. He's playing on the last year of his deal, so he could be either franchise tagged or traded, or franchise tag and traded next offseason. We don't really know what's going to happen, but yeah, I think the defense in coverage, I think we should have down because James Prochet may not play, so Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews are really going to be the only guys we have to worry about. But when Lamar Jackson gets out of the pocket, he's probably the best guy who can make things happen with his feet. And the Dolphins have a history of playing terrible against these mobile quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, the most notable one, Kyler Murray. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Dolphins have in store to stop him on the ground tomorrow. But whatever the Jets did basically worked, and if we have those linebackers that can get to the edge, keep a QB spy out there every single play of the game, I think we can make that happen. And then another thing is to rely on our side of the ball, rely on the run to take some pressure off of Tua's shoulders. He's going to have to be going through a lot tomorrow. If some of those guys play on the injury report, Tua's going to have to be going through, they have a pretty nice secondary. So I know you've Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, who at least Tyreek Hill bailed you out a couple of times last week. But if we can get Chase Bennett, Edmonds, Raheem Mostert going, I would love to see the run game take some pressure off of Tua's shoulders, and then he can get to work. If we find a rhythm in this game, obviously let the pass game work. Play action is going to be a big use in this game tomorrow, I think. But really not much else to talk about. I think the Dolphins win this game, though. Now on to my prediction. I think the Dolphins can win this game. It's a big range because I think if Tua can play well, the Dolphins win this game. If he doesn't play well, I think they don't win this game. But I'm going to trust my heart in this one, and I'm going to go with the Dolphins winning this game. I'll say I'm going to go 24-16, which feels like it may, the Dolphins score 2 touchdowns and a field goal. The Ravens maybe score a touchdown and 2 field goals. I think that's what I'm going to go with. 24-16 is my score prediction. So it ends in a 1-possession game, 8-point game. So it's somewhat close, but I think the Dolphins play well. We know how to stop Lamar Jackson on the ground and in the air. The defense makes it happen, led by Josh Boyer, the defensive coordinator. And the Dolphins move on to 2-0 and then have to focus right away on Buffalo for next week. But I'm going with the Dolphins taking this game home. Wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens won, but I'd be pretty pissed off because I think that this is going to be a winnable game, especially, like I said, with the Bills and Bengals up next for our next 2. It's going to be tough. This is going to be a game that I really want to win, and so do the Dolphins, knowing their next couple opponents. But that'll wrap up. We'll see what happens with the game tomorrow. Be back with the review tomorrow night. See you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.